Hey everyone, I'm KR, and this is my feelings on Jarrett. Say hi, Jarrett. Okay. Thanks, buddy. And today I wanted to do a video on bullying. And just share some of my stories and experiences with it. Like when I was bullied, and when I bullied someone, and when I stood up for someone being bullied. And also at the end, I want to talk about just humans in general and how hopefully we can have a mindset that doesn't even allow us to be bullies anymore because we just understand and have empathy with other people in a way that it'd make it hopefully impossible to if you can care about someone and love them in a way that you care and love about yourself, or at least understand them. Okay, let's get into it. I was bullied a lot in middle school. In middle school especially, I didn't really talk to anyone a lot because I have ADHD, and a lot of times people with ADHD, it's hard for us, at least this is how it affected me. It was hard for me to really understand people, and I just knew that like a lot of people did bully me and they did get bullied, so but I didn't have the social and emotional intelligence to be like, oh, you're actually being a friend right now. You're being bullied. I need to walk away from you. I didn't really understand. But I did understand where some people were mean, some people did bully me. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to talk to anybody because I don't actually know if you're being sincere or if you're bullying me. Some people actually weren't, but I just didn't talk to anybody unless I was talked to, and then it'd be like, yeah, cool. I'm going to go back to my math homework now. So I was probably, I don't know, I feel like I probably came across as kind of rude, but I didn't mean to. I just didn't know who were the bullies and who wasn't, and I didn't understand people enough to feel comfortable with possibly putting myself in the situation to be bullied. So I just didn't talk to anybody. So that was hard. And then, but again, I did get bullied. In 7th grade, it 7th grade was really tough. I remember eating a lot of food and then spinning around in the kitchen to throw up, so I would throw up and be sick. Mom, I can't go to school because I'm sick. But she could see me spinning around, so I don't really know what I was going there. I should have like spun around in my room or something. She wouldn't have heard that at all. So yeah, I still had to go to school, and I begged her to be homeschooled, but so I had to go to school. And I think what I'm thinking about right now is 6th grade, but in 7th grade I spent lunch every day in the counselor's office, and eventually they were like, you can't do this. So they sent me to the Girls' Day program, which, I don't know. A lot of my bullies were there from middle school because the Girls' Day program is for kids who need to be separated because they're being delinquents. So yeah, bringing the kid who's being bullied to the school literally filled with delinquents and who her bullies are going to be in class with her every single day. It's this whole idea. Actually, it kind of was. But they just didn't know what to do with me, so that's why they did it. But actually, being with bullies every day, like, aren't, kind of like, yeah, eventually they were cool, I guess, eventually. But then I just learned how to grow skin, thicker skin, and I learned I was really sarcastic, and that I'm bold, and that if something happens that I don't agree with, then I will stand up, even if it doesn't, like, I don't know, even if I'm a bystander, I guess. Because I think bystanders, if you see something happening, you need to do something. Because that kind of makes it worse. Because the reason a kid is getting bullied is because the bully is trying to impress the bystanders. Because they wouldn't do it if no one was there. They're trying to become popular and to be like, ooh, look at me, I'm so big and bad. But they wouldn't do it if there was no one to be like, wow, impressed or like scared by, So stand up, let them know it's not cool, guys. And a lot of the times, I don't know, I'm not saying befriend your bullies because a lot of times it makes it impossible, but have sympathy for them, guys. Because a lot of the times, I'm sure you've heard this before, but bullies are bullied, by their parents, by older siblings, maybe when they were in kindergarten or first grade, on. They become the bullies. And if you're a bystander and you stop someone bullying them, then they'll be like, oh, it's cool to actually stand up. And therefore, they won't feel like they have to protect themselves and be big and bad. And they won't become the bully too. It's just a cycle that we need to end. And a lot of the times, the bystander could be a really big notch in like ending it, you know? Because a lot of the times, I don't even feel like kids are bullying kids, but they don't feel like they're doing it because they're just trying to be cool and to be a class clown or something. I'll give you an example. I'll give you two examples. So I bullied someone when I was in fourth grade, and it felt really, really gross. So there's this kid. I'll call her T because her name starts with a T, and I'm very, very clever. So she had these like clip-ins, these hair clip-ins that were really cool in like the 2000s. And she was like, "This is my real hair, guys." And I was like, "No, it's not." And all the other 10-year-olds laughed. I was like, "Oh, cool, I have traction." But the thing with like me with ADHD, like I didn't really know when to stop, which I'm glad because then something else happened that no one laughed for, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's not funny." And actually, I feel really, really terrible inside. I'm not gonna bully anymore. So she was like, "Yeah, it is," and I was like, "I'll prove it." And I pulled the hair clip out of her hair, and nobody laughed. And then I realized what I was doing, and I was devastated. And then years later, I befriended her, yeah, it was a really, really crappy thing to do. And the bystanders didn't encourage me anymore because if I'm doing it, I'm going home with it. But a lot of, yeah, I don't know, just encourage them, guys. Tell them it's not cool. The other story is my friend, so this is sophomore year of high school, and my friend is just terrorizing this kid. This kid, I'll call him I. So I has a birthmark over like half of his face, a really big birthmark, which I feel like the high school age kid should have like been over this by now because we've been in school with him, you know, since kindergarten. Guys, get over it. Anyway, actually some of the kids, because it's kind of, Fort Dodge is a big town for Iowa, so there's like 4 or 5 elementary schools and they pour into each other. Anyway, that's besides the point. You know how school systems work. And my friend who has a big difference too, I'm not going to say it, but because it's not my place. Well, you're just outed I's birthmark. I know, but it's invisible. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, you don't even know who I am anymore. It's okay. Is it though? And, but my friend, I'll call her M because her name starts with an M, is just making fun of this kid harshly, and people are laughing, and I'm like, and so it was like near the end, and we're at our stop, and I get up off the bus, and I'm like, "You're the last person I expected to be making fun of someone for being different." And then I just walked away like a badass. But actually, it was because I had to get off the bus. But looking back, it makes me seem like a super huge badass. Anyway, and her face was just like, oh, you know? Like, I don't even think she realized what she was doing. She was getting attention, and she was feeling, I don't know, popular, and that like makes you like feel like, oh, I gotta keep doing it. And I get that feeling, which is why I was doing it when I was 10. But I also realized it wasn't cool, and I went like way overboard. And so I helped her realize that too, and she was like, "Oh, shit." So yeah, you just have to realize it, because I get it, guys. I get that impulse. I mean, it feels like, ooh, I got all the power. I'm popular and making people laugh. They love me. But you're making this kid feel so small, or this person, because adults do it too. This person, they're a person, guys. And something I feel like as humans we really struggle to understand is that, you know, your hopes and dreams, and everything that you have to do today and everything that makes you so huge in your own mind, everyone feels that about themselves. So, you know how you're watching me right now, but so I'm just like, right now I'm just like a supporting player in your life. Like I'm just like like a cast member. You're like the main star. You're the main character, right? Everybody feels that way about their own lives, and that's why it's so hard because people don't realize that. So when someone's yelling at someone, they're like, "Oh, I have to get this across. You did this to me," but everyone else is feeling the exact same way, and someone else might be a villain to you in your life, but guess what? If that's how you feel, then you're probably the villain in their life. What? That's crazy. But it's true. And it's just this huge thing that we fail to understand. We don't really have empathy with each other in that way. And we have to, guys. We have to think about people that way because it's how it is, And it's kind of like a mind-blowing thought that can just be like, but we have to live that way because it's how it is, and we can't treat everyone else like they're garbage or like they're bigger than us. That's another way how people view people. They either feel like they're less than them or they're higher than them, and that's not how it is either, guys, because we're all just people. We're all people. No one's this much higher than you, and no one's garbage. No one's below you either. We're all people. And we come from different circumstances and different places, and we're all different, like, in terms of who we are, but we're all people, guys. So don't try to, like, impress someone who you feel is, like, bigger than you by, like, making someone else who you feel is, like, under you small, because that's not how it works. And I feel like once we realize that we're all just people, bullying, I don't know, I feel like it wouldn't be that big of a thing because we'd be like, oh, we'd really internalize treat others how you want to be treated, the golden rule, because we'd realize we're all just the same. But I don't really know if that's going to happen because as a society, as a human race, as a human being, a lot of us, we lack empathy, and it's not something that's ingrained into a lot of us. It's something that we have to learn through experiences, and I just really hope we learn them, and I hope, like, hearing things from people, like, helps it out too, because it's really something big. They hear, like, oh, wow. So I hope as a collective race, we can become more loving and more caring. Because once we realize that we're all just humans, I feel like it opens the door to be like, oh, well, you're the same as me, and I don't want to be shit on. I want to be, like, loved and cared for, and hopefully we'd just be so much more open to doing that to everyone we see, because we wouldn't see people as less than us or people as higher than us, and these are the only people who we should love and care for. But no, we're all the same, so we all deserve to be loved and to be cared for. That's kind of what I really hope will happen someday. I don't know if it will here, but I'll just hopefully keep making videos, and hopefully someone will watch them, and someone will be like, yeah! And hopefully to help that person just be like a more kind and caring person to everyone. So yeah, I hope that helped a little bit with my experiences and my thoughts. I'm not like a wise old person with a cane or an apple. I mean owl. Or an owl with like glasses or anything. I have glasses, but I'm not an owl, so it makes me seem a little less wise than an owl wearing glasses. But I do what I can, and I hope that was something and not just rambling, and I hope you guys liked it a bit, and I'm gonna say goodbye, and like and subscribe if you liked it, and if you wish to subscribe, and it's good to know you. Bye from J and K. Bye guys.